What would you say to this question? What does the mind look like? What would you guys say? If we're going to change the mind, right, we need to know what it looks like. Good question, huh? Circuit board? Anybody else? What does the mind look like? It's a good question, right? You're kind of describing it, but what does it look like? If I say, what does your car look like? Well, it's black, it's Ford, right? That's the problem. That's the problem. We're trying to change something. We don't have a definition of what it looks like, right? So Dr. Thurman Fleet created this mind map in 1932, and it's a representation of the mind-body connection. And this is what we should be teaching in schools. Everybody's born with this equipment. You have a conscious mind, you have a subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind is driving this thing we call a body. Right? Your body is an instrument of the mind. You're not your body. You're expressing physically through your body. Your energy, your motion, your consciousness, right? So we have these parts of the mind-body connection. And once you learn how to use these, you can really quantum leap. It's crazy how it works. But we're born in ignorance is the problem. And ignorance isn't a bad term. It just means not knowing. Generational societal ignorance. Our school systems haven't changed in 110 years. Bless you. So we're born into this ignorant state, this construct of ignorance on how to build wealth, how to love, how to grow your body, understanding what it is. And we're born really in a society where we have worry and doubt and negative thinking. People go to try something new, they worry. What if it doesn't work? What are my friends going to think? What if I fail? They're what-ifing in the wrong direction. Well, that is energy. Just like the energy flowing through these circuits and going through the bulbs, right? It's energy flow, but it's negative energy flow. So negative energy out, negative results back. It's cause and effect. So we have this worry and doubt and negative thinking in the conscious mind, and it has to transmute to and through your body. There's energy flowing to and through you at all times. You can't not do this. People say, oh, I'm a good manifester. It's like the instant you're born, you're manifesting. So it's understanding this stuff, right? But if we have worry and doubt, what if I catch COVID? I shook somebody's hand the other day. I went to shake his hand. He went to give me a bump. He said, I got a cold. I'm like, oh, that's okay. I don't get sick. I can't catch it. Right? I'm on a high vibration. His cold's on a low vibration. It's physically impossible for me to catch it. So we have worry and doubt about what we don't understand, usually, And it causes fear in the subconscious mind, right? So the subconscious mind is the emotional mind. And the conscious mind is the thinking mind. Does that make sense? All your emotions are in the subconscious. And your subconscious mind is 1,000,000 times more powerful at storing data. This is why it's hard to quit smoking cigarettes. Once you have a habit, it becomes difficult to replace it, especially if we don't know how or how it got there, right? So the worry and doubt expresses as fear in the subconscious mind, and it has to come out from thought to thing. So if anybody here has ever had anxiety, that is the physical form, right? It's the physical expression of negative thinking. Does that make sense? You can't get to anxiety if you don't have worry and doubt. So if anybody's ever had anxiety or even, worse than that, depression, this is where it comes from. So if we can cut it off at the energy state, you won't express in the physical state. Does that make sense? It's super easy, but again, it's not taught in school. I mean, most of the planet is on Prozac, right? I mean, trillions of dollars in pharmaceuticals, and we could be just educating, like, this is where it comes from. Like, there's nothing to fear, there's nothing to worry about, but people are running around worried and panicking, But this is what causes procrastination. Now, when a human being is procrastinating, it causes depression. Does anybody know why? Anybody know why that is? We're born to create. We're born in the image of God. God is a creator. We're born to create. We're supposed to create from the instant we become aware all the way to the end. My mentor is 87 years old, and he's still rocking stages all over the world. Like, he'll be on a stage when he goes, He found out what he loved, and he got really good at it, right? Work is not for money. Work is for purpose. So that the whole trick to this game of life is find out what you love, get really good at it, do it forever. So procrastination doesn't feel good because we're not in a creative state. That's why it causes a low vibration known as depression. And this is so easy. We work with people that have PTS. It's the same type of thing. They have a traumatic incident, and they think they have it for life, but they don't, right? Because anything that can be programmed into the subconscious can be programmed out. And that's what I want you guys to really understand today is how to rewire your subconscious mind. Because if I'm walking, right, this is not a conscious act, it's a subconscious thing. I consciously said, I want to go from here to there, and then the subconscious takes over. Does that make sense? So understanding this mind map, I mean, this is really the keys to the kingdom. And this is what we work with. And eventually, in a state of depression, it's going to lead to a body not at ease, which is dis-ease. Dis-ease is not a natural state. It's going to be a reflection of something in the environment, whether it's the food, the water, the mental environment. Dis-ease is always a reflection of something in the environment. All right? So what we're doing here today is getting on the side of knowledge. Right? We don't fear what we know. Most of you don't fear driving your car. You know how to do that now. Right? But when you first did that, you might have had a little anxiety about it. So once you have knowledge, you can eliminate this whole thing. And that's what we really want to do here, is get on the right side of this equation. And I don't mean right or wrong, I mean right side of the page, right? So through study and understanding, we can get rid of some of this stuff. And we can create faith. Right? Now, faith is not just a religious term, it's a frequency of mind. I want you to think about everything being in frequencies, right? Fear is a very low vibration, very low thought frequency. Faith is a high frequency. Now, faith is the frequency of mind you need between a thought and a goal achieved. If you want to create a billion-dollar company, you can't be, what if it doesn't work? What if it does? What if it doesn't? That's what most people do. It really, myself included for the first 40 years, by the way. I was rowing the same boat of ignorance for 40 years. But if I want a light switch to be on, I turn it on, don't I? That's how I want you guys to think from here going forward, right? If you get a negative thought, you got to kick it out. Do something. Call somebody, do some push-ups, gratitude. I'll give you guys some things to do. But you got to kick those negative thoughts out. It's energy. Think of it like electricity through a wire. It's no different. So faith is the frequency of mind you need to be in between an idea and manifesting the idea. You need to hold that high vibration. So number one, figure out what you want. Very, very clear. Number two, stay in a high vibration. And through the laws of the universe, you will manifest your goal. It's just straight physics. But faith leads to well-being and calmness. Anybody that knows me knows I'm very, very calm. I mean, nuclear bombs could be going off, and it doesn't matter. COVID hit, whatever. None of that matters. It's all environmental stimulus. It's how we process that information is what matters. Does that make sense? And that's what mindset's all about. All right, so it leads to well-being, calmness. Now, we're in a well-being, calm state. We accelerate. Right? We attract, we accelerate, we build, we move, and we just kind of push forward in a calm, confident manner. So if you guys want to take I'll play this out, a screenshot of this, or I can get a PDF maybe to Mike and the guys. This is the mind map. This is the keys to the kingdom. You should all have one of these on your desk, right? Because if you find yourself, you're all the leaders of your companies. If your energy tanks, what's going to happen to your company? It's a transmutation of energy right to your employees. So you can't afford to do that. You can't afford to have a bad day, right? So this mind map right here is the keys to the kingdom, and it's something that can remind you, say, wait a minute, what am I so worried about, or what am I fearing, And since you're the leader of your company, you want to make sure you nip this in the bud. All right, so that's the mind map. That's one of the biggest things we teach. And most people are really sending that energy flow to the left, right? Energy is always flowing to and through you, and they're what-ifing in the wrong direction. What we want to do is put the energy flow, right? Of course it's going to work. Why wouldn't it work? If Jeff Bezos did it, why couldn't I do it? We have the same equipment. This is the way you guys want to talk yourselves off the ledge when you get on the ledge. Like, wait a minute, if other human beings can do it, we all have the same equipment. The only difference is the environmental exposures over time. And the other thing is the limiting beliefs you might have given to you by other people since you were born. And we're going to get into that too, something called a paradigm. So take a look at this picture. What does this represent to you guys? Chaos? Anybody else? Headache? What is that? Normalcy? I hope not. Well, I mean, this is what happens in negative thinker, yeah. The masses, for sure. But this might be people in your team, on your sales team, going out to do a sale. Now think about the energy flow coming off a human being, and they're about to shake hands with one of your potential clients, right? But this is what fear looks like. The graphical image, right, of what fear looks like. This is what doubt looks like. And this is also turning the light switch off, but you want the light to be on. Think about it that way. I personally use a light switch, a wire, and a bulb for my visual reference. You're the wire. You're the conduit for energy flow. So if you're negative thinking, you're not letting the energy express to and through into creation. Remember, I said energy cannot move itself into form. Consciousness does that. But what form are we moving it into? Most people are moving it into a physically depressed human being. It's a transmutation of energy. This is also what worry looks like. Now, here's what I want you to write down. Worrying is praying for what you don't want. Let that one sink in. Worrying is praying, putting thought energy out towards what you don't want. So most people for 1 hour on a Sunday go to a building, they get on their knees and they make noise and they think they're praying. But it's 1 hour out of 7 days. You need to be in a constant state of gratitude and a constant state of seeing the wish fulfilled. That's really the trick to the whole deal here. You can't let the environment knock you off your vision. And your environment might be your spouse, your children, might be people really close to you that don't understand your vision. So make sure you get your vision clear with your family and your loved ones, because it's really, really important. Negative energy around you, unless you understand this stuff, can be very, very toxic. All right, now take a look at this picture. What does this represent to you guys? Abundance. Confidence? Evil? Some, yeah, maybe. Anybody else? Joy? I don't know. I don't think Steve Jobs was too joyful. I think he was pretty depressed. Lots of money, yeah. I mean, certainly success, or at least financial success. But the one thing I can tell you is these people have faith, and I don't mean religious faith. I mean, they don't question. They get an idea, and it doesn't matter what you think or what I think or what the world thinks. I mean, Elon Musk was blowing up billion-dollar rockets all over the place. He sold the government on the idea, let me do this too, by the way. So Elon Musk is a salesman, if you're wondering what he is, right? But these people don't. They get an idea in their head, and they hold the image. Even some of them might be narcissistic, but they have the ability to hold the image until it manifests into form, to and through other people. That makes sense? So faith, obviously desire, burning desire. They don't get off track. A lot of them probably unhealthily don't get off track. I mean, I think Elon had 2 nervous breakdowns already. But there's things to be gleaned from this, right? You can take the good, you can harvest the good and forgive the rest, and still be in a calm, confident state and use some of the stuff. And then obviously persistence. Persistence is the physical part, right? Faith is the mental part. Persistence is the physical part. So the beautiful thing is we know exactly how these people think and act and operate, and we can teach it at the 5th grade level. And that's what Bob's become an expert at, and I've become an expert at, is taking Harvard-level information and delivering it at a 5th grade level. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please, please, please comment, like, and share, and click on that subscribe button so you can get all of the wealth mindset videos from the Matrix Success Network. Thank you very much. Be well. God bless.